Alright, guys. I think we just found the hidden gem of this season. I just got through watching Uncle from Another World, and oh my lord, it's great. It's actually great. I think I fully understand the hype around the show now. It's so freaking funny. Oh my lord. That opening is ridiculous, and I love it at the same time. It's so absurd when he just starts dancing like that. Like, come on, man. But I love it. This show, I truly think, is going to be the hidden gem of this season. It's so ridiculous. I had to pause the episode multiple times because I was laughing so much. Or I kept saying, like, you fool! Why would you do that? So let's just get into it and talk about Uncle from Another World today. So our episode actually begins with everyone's favorite isekai protagonist making his appearance yet again. Truck-kun, we have to stop this man. How many people has he murdered? He's on a murderous rampage. We have to stop this man. I love how they do that, but in this instance, they actually missed him. And we get introduced to one of our main characters, Takafumi, in this episode. Now, Takafumi is just your average guy, and he's going to visit his uncle, who has been in a coma for 17 years, actually. Since 2000, which, that's so crazy to say. Because this series takes place in 2017, actually, for whatever reason. Maybe that's when the manga first came out or something. I'm not quite sure. But it takes place in 2017. So Takafumi's going to the hospital to check on his uncle, who just woke up from his coma, actually. And he's in a bit of a daze, He goes and visits him, and his uncle starts speaking kind of gibberish all of a sudden. He's like, what are you saying? Like, what are you talking about? Takafumi thinks he's gone crazy. But then his uncle reveals that, oh, sorry, I guess we speak Japanese here again. I forgot. I was transported into this other world for 17 years, and I guess I'm back here now. Takafumi's like, wait, my uncle's crazy. My uncle's lost his mind. And then the nurse comes in, he starts talking to her in this other language. He's like, what's going on, man? Like, what is happening here? And he doesn't believe his uncle. So his uncle's like, all right, let me show you. He starts saying a bunch of spells in this other language. Takafumi's standing there like, oh, what are you doing, dude? Has he really lost his mind? Then all of a sudden, he tries it in Japanese, and it works. And just right away, guys, right away, seeing Takafumi's face gave me the vibe that this show is gonna give, and I dig it. I really dig it. This show's gonna be hilarious. Just seeing his face like, yo, what just happened? And then all of a sudden, he's like, yo, I want to know everything. Please tell me everything about this world. Because he believes him now, obviously. And I absolutely love the fact that the first thing he does is like, yo, I'm going to find a way to make money off my uncle. And they start doing YouTube videos with his powers and all that. And I just find that hilarious. I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, yo, where's my long-lost uncle that came out of a coma, guys? I could use that. Do some magic in my videos, man. Make a lightsaber. Just what a great way to start a show with a ridiculous premise like this. So Takafumi actually lets his uncle stay with him for a while as they're doing the videos together, and we start to realize Takafumi's had it a little rough in the real world, he ain't doing too well with people. He had a roommate, but he's had a falling out with him, so now he's got a huge apartment on his own, actually, which, yo, who's gonna be mad at that? Like, for real, give me that apartment. Hello, I'll take it. But in this scene, we realize that his uncle is severely out of touch. He don't know anything about the new world, guys. He's like, yo, who's winning the console wars right now? Is it Sega? And Takafumi's just like, oh, Sega stopped doing consoles a really long time ago. It's like Sony and Nintendo in Japan. He's like, what? Not my Sonic? But it's here that his uncle starts revealing what it was like in the other world, actually. And Takafumi's like, oh, it must have been great. It must have been an absolutely pleasant time over there. And his uncle starts saying, nah, no, not at all. Everyone over there is super handsome or beautiful, and they must have really hated me. I must have been really ugly over there. And we start to realize that he had it really tough over there, actually. He was persecuted against. He was harassed by people. They called him what they say? He was a part of the orcs? He was a different species of orc that they said, and I was like, damn, that's rough. And Takafumi starts realizing, yeah, this is how going to another world would probably actually be. Lots of persecution and just really mean people. And then his uncle starts saying, yeah, man, they really were the worst. There was this one girl's life who I saved over there, and she didn't even thank me. She started to say, oh, I didn't ask you to save me. Don't touch me. And, oh, I didn't save your life for your sake. Be grateful. And, oh, I must be the only one that can stay with an orc face like you. And Takafumi's just sitting there, super stoic, like, are you serious, dude? That's a tsundere! And we get revealed that the tsundere archetype was not really introduced, or wasn't really popularized, until early 2004, before his uncle was there. So he has no idea what a tsundere is. So he's just sitting there like, oh, this girl's so annoying, man. So obnoxious. I couldn't stand her. And Takafumi's just sitting there like, you idiot. And it's just such an hilarious scene. And it's here that we get shown that his uncle truly does not understand the real world concept. As he's looking through the comments on his videos and he's like, and people are like, oh, this shit's so fake, man. You could do this easily. A 5-year-old could do this. And he's like, what do they mean? What does LOL mean? And Takafumi's just sitting there like, oh, he doesn't understand what haters are yet. Just what a dumb concept. And in this scene, actually, we get to see something cool, which I imagine is going to be our way to view what happens in the other world. Because you see, his uncle can actually take his memories and kind of like project it onto like a screen. I think that's a really cool concept, actually. And he starts showing him a scene like, oh, I created like a vase over there that can hold water and all that, so that people would be able to carry water to and fro. And Takafumi's like, that's great. They must have revered you, right? That's an awesome invention. You would think people would love that idea. And he says, no. They tried to hang me. And he starts explaining that, oh no, this actually went against their religion. And because of that, they tried to kill me right here. And it's here, as he's about to get killed by all these villagers, we actually see that one girl saves him again. But this absolute moron just runs. And I like how they even do a close-up on her face, like, this idiot ran away. And she just looks so disappointed. And Takafumi's just sitting there like, dude, you can't be serious. What did you do? It's so ridiculous. I love this series already. And it's in this scene we find out that his uncle actually has like a little pocket dimension that he can store stuff in, because he does an online auction to pick up a phone for himself. And in that scene we discovered that he has a little pocket dimension where he's kept trinkets from this other world, like literal swords and daggers and stuff. And he shows him like, yeah, I tried to sell these rings that I had right here, but that could build entire castles with the amount of money they'd revenate or be able to produce in the other world, but over here they're worth next to nothing. And it's in this scene that we get a little story, and I find this to be a really funny story, actually, where he sees these people in trouble in the other world. He shows freaking Takafumi another little story from his world, actually. And he sees that this sister and her 2 brothers are in trouble from an orc. So he goes and saves them. And they're like, thank you so much, until they look at him. And their expressions are priceless. The younger brother stands in front like, no, don't hurt him. Don't hurt anyone. And the sister just resolutes herself like, it's okay. It's okay, guys. I'll handle this. And they're just in the background crying as she steps forward and gives herself up. And I like how no words were exchanged in this scene. They didn't say anything. That's what made it even better. It was just completely silent. And Takafumi's just sitting there like, oh, the sister clearly just sacrificed her life to save her brothers. While Uncle's just sitting there like, yeah, I really saved them. I have such good luck with girls. And he's like, yeah, but after that scene, I got pushed off the cliff by 2 goblins, and I almost died. And I love how in this scene, it shows the 2 little brothers with, like, really evil looks on their face sneaking around him, implying that they're the ones that pushed him off. And he's like, no, you don't need to see that scene anymore. I'm sure it was goblins. It must have been terrible from you. And Uncle's like, yeah, I almost died, but right on the brink of death, I got saved yet again by this girl. And Takafumi's like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, she's just so annoying. I can't believe she saved me again. I woke up and she said, well, you're going to be indebted to me for the rest of your life. You better kneel before me. And Uncle, being the way he is, he's like, no, I don't want to be indebted to anyone. So he actually takes out a ring. One of the rings. And puts it on her finger. And she's just like the literal definition of a tsundere, guys. She's like, what? No, I don't want this. What do you think you're doing? And he's like, you don't want it? And then she's like, I do want it. And he puts the ring on her, and Takafumi's like, what are you doing? Do you understand the significance of that? And he's like, yeah, I do. Because then it gets revealed that he just takes the ring off her later and goes and sells it in another town. And just the look on her face the whole time, just the plain look like, did this really just happen? Did he really just do that? It is priceless. This guy's such an idiot, guys. This show is so hilarious. This show is so funny. And the episode ends with his uncle saying, yeah, so you see, these items can be really helpful in certain situations. And Takami's just looking at him like, oh my lord, this absolute moron doesn't realize what he did. And as he's putting the items away, they have a great idea. They're like, wait a minute, we could use this for a video. So they do, and they show like him getting impaled, but since he has the pocket dimension, the sword goes through that and doesn't impale him. He's like, our video got 2 million views. And the episode ends when he's like, my wacky shenanigans with my uncle begins now. And guys, this show is ridiculous. I'll be honest, I don't think I even did a good job of explaining to you how funny this show is. Because this show has so many visual gags in it. So many visual things that are funny. Like, I didn't even mention the fact that he's so obsessed with Sega and his first love was Sonic and Tails. Like, what? Guys, you gotta go and watch this show. If my video can convince you guys that this show is hilarious and great, all the better, because it's fantastic. I really think it's going to be the hidden gem of this season. But you guys let me know down below what you thought. I would love to hear opinions about it, because this show is ridiculous. You can bet I'm coming back the next episode for you guys and doing another review. But that'll be it for today, guys. I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, and year. And remember, if you get isekai to another world for 17 years, pray you don't look like Uncle. I'll see you guys next time.